And welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. Now, if you're looking at your video right now and it looks like I got beat up, I did get beat up. Got beat up by a 2-year-old. But, yeah, I got scratched up pretty good. So, got one right here, a little scratch right here. But I think I'll live. But I can't shave, so it'll be one of the very few times you'll ever see me on this channel with a little 5 o'clock shadow. But, there's a topic that I want to talk about today, a topic I actually have been thinking about now for a few days. And it's one of those things where you kind of have to know what are you doing wrong. And I was trying to think of like all the things I was doing wrong in this hobby, and it goes to the title of this video: Build Now or Be Left Behind. And what I mean by that is there are so many people out there, and the only reason I can say that is because I know I'm one of them, that there is something that you are not doing in this hobby right now today that you know you should be doing. Because I think right now in this period of the hobby is going to be like the best growth period for people. And I know that it is counterintuitive for a lot of people, because I think people are seeing like potentially a little slower sales here and there. Maybe you can't just send everything to PSA, grade any bulk hollow and hit a 9 or hit a 5, hit a 4, sell it, get a premium. You know, people are maybe feeling a little bit of that pinch. You hit a modern 9, you don't make money anymore. Now it's 10 or bust like the way it used to be, and people don't feel like, how can now be the time to grow? But it is the time to grow. And what I mean by that is, back to what I said, is there's one thing that everybody out there knows they should be doing, but they're not. One of the things I know I should be doing, but I've been dragging my feet, is I know I need to create a TCG player account to be a seller. It's something that I've known now for well over a year. There are people out there who buy Japanese product at every single release. They refuse to make a Tenzo account, and instead of just learning how to do the, Pokemon Center Japan lotteries, not that they refuse to do it. Maybe refuse to do it is a bad word. It's just, they just don't do it. They know they should. There's people out there that I know want to start selling on Macari, and they haven't. And there's just so many of those people out there. Just like your old school Pokemons are out there. Yeah, looking at you, Nick. Nick knows he should be making more YouTube content. He did make a video today, so good for Nick. But then you got other people out there like James Carson. James Carson knows in his hearts of heart that he should give PK my promo code. He knows that's what he needs to do. But he's dragging his feet, won't do it. And I just think that everybody has their one thing. And I'm sure right now everybody's watching this video and be like, PK's probably right. There is that one thing I should be doing. And it could be as simple as, there's a lot of people, even on eBay, a lot of people are anti 2 eBay accounts. I'm very pro 2 eBay accounts. There's a lot of people out there that try to keep 1 eBay account. I know, like, the camp I fall in, at least, is a lot of people want to just stay with graded cards. So because they just stay with graded cards, they find themselves not doing raw singles. But I recommend to everybody out there, create that second eBay account. If that's something you want to do, create that second eBay account. Or if you want to start selling sealed product and you don't want to like have the potentials of returns or anybody saying that it's, tampered with sealed product, create that second account. Start spreading out your business a little bit and grow. Because right now, and like I said, it's that TCG player. It's creating a Tenso account. It's, listing on Macari. Or, there's a lot of people out there are just talking right now, looking at the current market, and they're saying, I know I'm a sealed product collector, and I'm not buying sealed product right now. There's a lot of people I talk to. And one of the things, especially if you are in that mindset of you are a sealed product collector, you're probably not going to find a lot of opportunities better than you are today. Now, don't get me wrong. Tomorrow could always come, and tomorrow can have the market keeps going down for a lot of this super modern sealed. But we've seen a lot of good entry points, in a way, kind of come and go. Now, when I say come and go, is I'm talking Scarlet and Violet base, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, Paradox Rift. Now, none of these sets are crazy expensive. None of them are greater than 120. You still have buying opportunities for a lot of these. But for some of these, maybe the $80 booster box, maybe the sub $80 booster box, maybe those days are slowly going away. Now, tomorrow could always bring a reprint, but I'm liking a lot of these prices. There are a lot of people out there that are sealed product collectors and going, this is what I am. I'm a sealed product collector and I'm not buying today. It just goes back to there's a lot of people who know that there is something they should be doing right now and they're not. Or there's a lot of people out there that are, just the purest of collectioners, and they're looking at really, really good prices for a lot of cards, especially cards selling at auction. I've started to see like a little bit of the market kind of trend sideways, some of it go down. I'm actually starting to see some cards actually selling for crazy premiums. I'm actually seeing a little bit of buying pressure even on the absolute lowest that I wasn't expecting. So, but like, this is any Pokemon market, but the reason I say that is because I've been watching some of the most recent PWCC sales. PWCC, for a while, you could have just seemed to pick up anything and get a bargain. I watched the most recent PWCC sale. Wow, there was still a couple cards that I felt floated a little bit under the radar. For the most part, a lot of stuff sold for either at market or above market. And then the same thing I'm seeing happen on eBay. I've been trying to snipe a couple good deals, and while the deals are still out there, even the cards that I thought would be better deals, I've had to pass on a lot of stuff. So the market's still very, very, very strong right now, but I still feel like there's a lot of room right now where people wanted to, they can grow. And I don't even care if you're the smallest seller out there or the biggest seller out there. I just feel like there are just too many people that are missing opportunities right now. And building right now can be as simple as, if you are on the absolute lowest end, it's something I've talked about on my channel. I've heard other people talk about this on other channels. If you are selling on eBay or actively selling, the fact that there are still some people out there, as recently as like a few lives ago, that told me they do not own thermal label printers. If there is just one thing that I could at least impart on you and just give you my absolute best advice, which this is good advice, and I want to say that even the people that hate me from with their deepest of passions will also agree with me on saying, get a thermal label printer. Even when you could, I'm going to tell you right now, even when my enemies and the people that wish death upon me would agree that you should be getting a thermal label printer, that is one of the things you should be doing. So if you're on the lowest end, you can do something as simple as that. Or maybe you get to the next level. It's just, figuring out a good inventory system, trying to become more streamlined, because now's the time. You should be, if you are doing Pokemon, it doesn't have to be as a business. I am not a business, but I understand like my weak spots in this hobby, and I understand where I need to grow. And I challenge everybody out there watching this video, and whatever you need to do, however you need to grow, whether it's the lowest end to the middle end of just getting better at, inventory, or if you are more, just riding by the seat of your pants, like, start to establish yourself. Start to get like that solid core of your business. Start to make everything streamlined. One of the things I found that has been really helpful for me recently is just like streamlining all my processes, because by streamlining my processes, I was spending a lot of wasted time doing a lot of things. Now I've been able to eliminate a lot of what I consider like the time that I was wasting, especially just some, things as simple as packing orders and stuff, like real poor inventory. My inventory, for what works for me at my scale, has gotten way better. And I think for everybody out there, there is that one thing that they can be doing, or that thing they should be doing, because I think right now in this hobby that I am bullish on the long term of Pokemon. I'm just going to be honest with you. Everybody out there should already know that, but I'm bullish on the long term, and I feel like there is no better time than today to start just establishing yourself and continue to establish yourself. If you do feel that the market is shrinking right now, you don't want to be shrinking with the market. You want to be growing and trying to expand outside. And when I say expand outside, maybe I'm not talking about Pokemon, but I'm talking about expanding outside of your comfort zone. There are so many people out there that are, off, they're watching this video either on their TV or on their computer or on their phone, and either off to the left of them or off to the right of them is a pile of bulk cards they know they should be sorting. Some decent Vs, uh, EXs, cards like that they know they should be trying to make a couple bucks of, but they're just not. And they're dragging their feet. Or maybe they're in their living room and they know in their bedroom are those Vs and EXs. And, they know they should potentially be making a TCG player account the same way as I know. I know it. And I know that I'm screwing up by not doing it. And it's one of the big goals that I have for like the very near future, is because sometimes I have to look in the mirror, even though I got this big scratch on my face because I got beat up by a 2-year-old. I know what I need to be doing. And I just feel like there are too many people out there who are saying the same thing. And even on the absolute highest end too. The people who are really, really doing big things in this hobby. I bet you even people like pretty much just anyone I ever had on my channel. They know that there's something out there that they should be doing more. Shout out to Rusty, TCA Gaming. Even Rusty. I'm sure there's something Rusty is thinking of right now that Rusty wishes he can be doing differently in this hobby, or more of in this hobby. And whether it's a time commitment or not, I don't feel like this is an I problem. I feel like this is a we problem, meaning we all have some problem in this hobby and something we should be doing right now. Whether that is people should be opening more product, maybe people should be doing more live streams opening product, maybe there's people out there should be doing less openings right now because they're spending way too much money. Just figure out wherever your faults are in this hobby and just try your best to you don't have to eliminate all your faults. I don't think anybody could eliminate all their faults. I think that's impossible. But I think if you can just start to look at where your faults are and start to eliminate a few of those faults and just make yourself better, build your business better, or build your collecting like experience better, or build your flipping experience better, just keep building. And I wonder out there what, if everybody, like, if you guys feel comfortable in the chat, just like let me know a little bit, like, what is that one thing you should be doing? Are you the person out there that falls in the you love Japanese product, you buy every Japanese release, but you've never once pre-ordered product on, the Japanese Pokemon Center, even though you should, because you just end up paying higher secondary market prices and you're going to pick up that product anyways? Do you fall in the I should be creating a Tenzo account and I never have camp? Do you fall in the I have 1 million bulk singles at home and lower dollar amount cards that I know would do really, really well on TCG Player if I had a TCG seller account, but you have just not created that? Do you fall in that camp? Do you fall in the camp of you should have a second eBay page because you feel like maybe you're ready for that, but yet you're not doing it? Are you James Carson out there? Do you know you should be giving PK a promo code and you haven't done it yet? Like, which person are you in those equations? Because I feel like, or is there something like I have even talked about, maybe something that you just know? Should you stop buying card saver ones, 200 at a pop? Should you just go on Cardboard Gold right now and pick up 2,000 card saver ones? Just do the one-time buy because you're going to save yourself and you're going to get your price to less than 6 cents per card saver. Or do you need penny sleeves and you're paying over a penny per penny sleeve? Again, I'm not even sponsored by Cardboard Gold. Or you could go on Cardboard Gold and get penny sleeves for a half a cent each. And you should be doing that, but you're not doing it. Instead, you're just picking up card saver ones from some random eBay seller whenever you need 200 of them. And after shipping and fees, you end up paying like way, way more than you would if you just got 2,000. Like, where do you fall in the conversation? And I feel like that conversation is so different for everybody. But yeah, but listen, as everyone out there hopefully by now knows, and if you know, I'll repeat it. Every Thursday night at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I go live. I always want to do these lives as more of just answer the chat's questions. So I'm always going to have my little typical PK rant at the beginning, but it's not going to be a long one because I do want to do the Thursday lives as just more just a Pokemon weekly chat. So I only went 15 minutes on my rant, so that's pretty good actually. So now I'm going to scroll up to the top of the chat. If anybody has any comments, questions, feel free to write them in the chat now, because once I get to the bottom of the chat, that's going to be it. But I appreciate everybody who joined channel memberships on Friday too. We had a ton of people joined. I had a ton of people donated memberships. I really appreciate that, guys. That was big. It was the first podcast back with Rattle. I know there was a couple issues with the microphones at the beginning. That's something I'm trying to work on. I'll figure it out. Hopefully by the next one. But yeah, I wanted to do the first live back with just me and Rattle. I was sick as a dog, man. I felt like shit this whole weekend, but I'm feeling a lot better now. So yeah, it is what it is. But going to the top of the chat real quick, I see number one mod in the game, Drew. I don't know how he does it, but he always manages to do it. Every single live, he always manages to put the first comment. And if you guys aren't following Drew on Instagram, I definitely recommend you checking out his Instagram. So, Drew, if you're out there, do me a favor, buddy. Drop a link to your Instagram page, because I think we need to push Drew a little bit, encourage him to start posting more on Instagram. But Drew, if you drop a link to your Instagram page, I recommend everybody checking them out. And you know what? I'm going to do one better. As soon as this video is done, I'm going to pin a comment. It's going to be number one mod in the game, Drew's Instagram page. I recommend you guys all going down in the comments below. It's going to be the pinned comment after this video is over. Clicking on that link, go give him a subscribe, because yeah, he's a good one, man. I see Fresh Tats, Jade Rabbit, Local Los Collections, man. Haven't seen you in a while. TCG Collectible says, what? He's in the live chat for the first time. Oh, man. TCV Collectible said, comment to known PK will get to this comment in like 45 minutes after his growth rant. So it wasn't 45 minutes. It was 17 minutes. But TCV, I appreciate you, bud. I did get to it. Pokey Steve says 45 minutes. You must be new here. Let's see. So we got Retrospecs in the chat. Good to see you, Retro. Let's see. Max Power. Good to see you. Trev says, what's your opinion on selling One Piece to buy more Pokemon? I don't know if this is a troll comment, but I've already kind of like talked my piece on One Piece. That's a hell of a sentence. But no, so I talked my piece, P-E-A-C-E. But yeah, listen, I think One Piece is doing crazy stuff right now. I think there's a lot of people really, really doing really, really well in One Piece. Hey, I got very lucky. I got lucky. You can go back on December of 2021 where I was on my stream and I showed my Romance Dawn Blue Bottom, I guess call it the first edition booster box. Got super lucky. Didn't even know if it was the first print wave was going to be different than the second. Happened to pick one up, and I got lucky and I was able to sell that booster box for over $1,000. I bought one of every single set of Romance Dawn with the exception of, so I've only bought OP 1 through 4, so I haven't technically bought 5. I think 5 is now out because the prices are too crazy. And then I think even pre-orders for 6s are pretty wild right now. So I've skipped on both those. And because I like that booster box when I could pick them up for, between 120 to 140. That was like an area I was comfortable at. Not comfortable with One Piece anymore because while I think there's a strong IP to it, and I believe like that a lot of people believe in it, I'm very, very, very nervous with the way I'm hearing people talking about it, in the sense that they think One Piece is different than everything else. I am just nervous, and I think that alone, because people are defensive when I say things like, I am just nervous to see how like One Piece is managed. And then how I'm just saying I am nervous what reprints will do to One Piece sets. Will One Piece reprints, like, one, not just hurt the market? Will it destroy the market? Will it destroy consumer confidence? Because if everybody out there is spending these crazy wild pre-order prices and they're doing this just with the sole intention that they need to get that product, they gotta open it up, just like they had to open up Vivid Voltage booster boxes at between $240 and $280. I needed it. I needed that Vivid Voltage booster box at $260. Just the same way as that, happened. I'm just getting way too many of that same sort of feel from people talking about One Piece. They gotta have it. And I just preach caution. And one of the things that is even making me pull even further away from it is because I'm saying I'm preaching a little bit of caution. Just be careful with One Piece. Because that one little line of just preaching a little bit of caution is making people, like, in a way, inherently angry to hear that, as if One Piece is different than everything else, makes me even more nervous. I'm just telling you, be careful with One Piece. Don't find yourself over leveraged with One Piece, where you are going to ride or die so hard on things that are going to be out of your control. And when I say things that are going to be out of your control, is how Bandai handles shit. How much of this stuff gets reprinted. That is out of your control. And if you are banking so confidently that none of that will happen, I'm just preaching a little bit of caution. And I'm going to tell you right now, I hope that I am wrong. I hope that this stuff just keeps going to the moon in perpetuity. But I've been around, like, trading card games long enough to just understand that everything right at release cannot sell for between 2x to 3x to 4x MSRP at release. That is not sustainable forever. While some people might feel like it is right now because they're riding that rocket ship to the moon, and I get it, but I promise you, that is not sustainable. So if you find yourself thinking this One Piece release schedule and hype is sustainable, it's not. So just tread lightly, okay? I said the same thing about Disney Lorcana too. Think about Disney first chapter of Lorcana, everybody was picking it up. Look at how many sales people were doing at greater than 200, 250 for booster boxes. And what happened when reprints came? Yeah, that booster box got knocked all the way down to MSRP, which any product getting knocked down to MSRP after reprints, in my opinion, still shows a really, really healthy trading card game to only have stuff knocked down to MSRP. So just, I have never, like, had to just constantly, like pad people's ego in this, because it's so hard right now to navigate One Piece and talk about it without people just thinking you are anti-One Piece. I am not anti-One Piece, okay? I'm just telling you that in my experience, this sort of growth to a game is not sustainable. And if you think it is sustainable, you are going to have a tough, year from now. I don't know if it's the next release. I don't know if it's the one after that. I don't know. But eventually, print runs will meet this supply. And if reprints come, and the reprints are big enough, it will kill a lot of this demand. And you will see prices crashing, and then you'll hear people talking about the crash of One Piece. And it probably won't truly be crashes. We might see a Disney Lorcana situation where stuff goes back to MSRP. But when people's brains and their expectations are so far out in left field that the thought of stuff just selling at a healthy price point of MSRP, the fact that that alone is such a foreign thought for some people, just be careful with One Piece. That's all I'm saying. But even that pisses people off to all hell. Let's see. Mile High Pokemon, good to see ya. Mile High Pokemon, one of my very few lawyer friends. I always need some... No, I was going to say something mean, but I was going to say if anybody needs free legal advice, always just slide in the Mile High Pokemon. No, lawyers do not give out free legal advice. But, I talk about the bulk game, and Mile High Pokemon, he was one of the very, very few people that I ever, ran across who was really doing that, bulk grind Him and his partner, they were doing it really well. And they weren't doing it with like a Roca sorter machine. They were just buying up local collections, paying a cent, or a penny and a half to pick up bulk and just grinding it. And he was doing some big sales. I think they stopped doing that bulk grind for a little bit because I think he moved uh, out of Colorado to like get a job temporarily somewhere. So they stopped doing a little bit of that bulk. I think he's even had to change his business strategy a little bit. But it was always impressive talking to Eli. Eli, very smart dude. I mean, if you know where Eli went to college, if you ever do me a favor, if you want to know about the bulk route, if you want to know about like one of the things I talk about, which is very important in this hobby too, is like find yourself a partner who supports you in this hobby. Just type into the search bar and type in, Pokeknowledge, Mile High Pokemon, and go back and watch that live stream. It's a good one. He's a good one. So good to see you, buddy. He said, was seeing Paradox Rift for $470 per case like 2 weeks ago. Crazy good price, but people won't buy because it seems like a set that's too cheap. That's a sad thing too, right? It's like too cheap. There's a price floor to a lot of the Scarlet and Violet stuff, and this is the thing too. The same way as One Piece is controlled by, their overlords, which is Bandai, modern Pokemon is still controlled by our overlords, which is just Pokemon International. Pokemon International, if they wanted to, like a lot of this Scarlet and Violet stuff is not really primed right now for reprints for any of this stuff. Now, maybe that's a reason why a lot of people are just really stand backish on all this, because I think when you start to spread out sets enough, you start to look back and say, eventually one thing is going to get reprinted, you'd think. Now, that could not be the case. Maybe we just see like low prints for all this. I mean, Scarlet and Violet base obviously had some reprints and stuff, but we've seen what reprints did. The Scarlet and Violet base really hammered it down, like really knocked down sub 80. It's just Pokemon right now is tough, especially when you're looking at it from a like LGS or smaller time seller. It's tough to flip a market or flip a profit when your cost to acquire product from distribution is more expensive than your competition is selling for it on different platforms. Like, that is tough. And especially for those people out there that are trying to do what the title of this video is, which is build now or be left behind. A lot of people's, thought on still building their business right now is one of that big pieces is building allocations through distribution. So if you're one of the best ways, and really the only way that I kind of know of to build allocations through distribution, meaning you need to be buying right now to grow those allocations. And it gets really, really tough when, you're a new person and you're just having to pick up the worst of worst products. Obviously, Pokemon throws everybody a bone once in a while, and 151 gets released, 151 Super Liquid. I kick myself. It's just like Eli talks about, $470 a case for our Paradox Rift. I had an opportunity to pick up a couple cases of Pokemon 151 poster collections. You guys are probably pretty shocked to hear me say poster collections, but out of all the 151 block, it's actually the product I like the best. You got 3 packs, you got the posters, but you got the base set starters in there. You got the Squirtle, you got the Charmander, you got the Bulbasaur. All the cards with the nice hollow borders to them. I thought they were great cards. Like, there's an example of one of the cards. That's Charmander. Awesome cards. Awesome little product. Super, super cheap. 6 boxes per case. And I got a really, really good opportunity to pick it up. It was over distribution prices, obviously, but it was still less than, the $15 per poster box. And I was like, I should pick up a few cases. And you know what? I just dragged my feet. And I didn't drag my feet that long. I think I dragged my feet for like, maybe 48 hours, maybe less than 48 hours, maybe like 36 hours before I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to pull the trigger. And then by the time I went back to pull the trigger, all gone. None left. Then, the cheapest I could pick up cases was a lot more. And I was like, well, I already passed on my real great deal I had. I'm just going to pass on this again. And now you can't even pick up Pokemon 151 poster collections right now. Wouldn't be shocked if cases on eBay right now are selling for I don't know, 120, 130 bucks right now, which is crazy high when you think about what that product was just a few months ago. But I dragged my feet. Everybody makes their mistakes. And because I wanted to pick up the product that I liked best out of 151. A lot of people like the 151 UPCs. Great product, like it. Two beautiful promos with the Mew and the Mewtwo. Not for me. Really expensive price point. A lot of people like the ETBs. I get it. Really nice product. A lot of people like the booster bundles. I get it. Cheapest way to pick up packs. For whatever reason, for 151, I love the freaking poster collections. And I had a great opportunity to pick up a couple cases cheap, and I didn't do it. But whatever. You're going to live and learn. You're going to find yourself like kicking yourself over freaking a case of poster collections? No. But it's just I knew at the time I should have pulled the trigger, and I just didn't. But it's part of building, right? Like, I know what I need to do if I want some product, but whatever. That was a PK tangent rant. But, so Zardlurkin92 said, to me, one of the more limited English promos in today's market was special delivery Bidoof. Yeah, it was one of the more limited English promos because of how it was released. It was released through Pokemon Center, and not everybody that had like even a Pokemon Center account got an email. It was literally, you had to get an email from PokemonCenter.com, which they didn't send to everybody, and then you had to like fill out the survey in that email. Would you be interested in this special delivery Bidoof? And then you had to respond to that survey in the email, and then if you responded to it, then they would send you the promo. And very few people did that. So because very few people did that, you see what special delivery Bidoof prices are still doing to this point today. It's crazy. They're super expensive. So Johnny Bongo says, yo, PK, what do you perceive as a better investment between Paldean Fates or Temporal Forces? I'm liking Temporal Forces right now. Really like Temporal Forces a lot. Let's see. So Zardlurkin92 says, there are still really good plays to make money in the hobby. There's also really good deals on sealed graded stuff for buyers too. Yeah, it's navigating. And the same way as you said there are really good plays and really good deals right now in the hobby, I'm going to tell you right now too, at the same time, even though there are really good deals and really good plays right now, there are also, at the same exact moment, really, really bad deals and really, really bad plays you can be doing right now. And I hate that because it's just such a broad statement. It's not a definitive, like, this is exactly what you could be doing, this is what you should be doing. It's way too broad. But it's just, I just feel right now, and this is my feelings, some people hate that. Some people don't like that you can make a video talking about how you feel about certain products or how you feel about the market. And for those people, I say, pew, 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 go fuck yourself. But it is what it is. I feel right now that the good plays are more obvious right now and than they have ever really been. And I feel that the bad plays are more obvious right now than they've ever been. Like, I'm seeing the irrationality of the market, and when things start to cool off, it seems pretty apparent when they do. Or like when the interest starts to move out of stuff, it's becoming more obvious as interest is moving out of stuff. Or when I'm seeing just absolute true oversupply of some stuff that maybe has good fundamentals, but just seeing like a ton of supply. A lot of these, later Sword and Shield sets right now, a lot of these products are probably due to really pop a lot of these. Now, we are still in the window of, some of these Sword and Shield sets still being in rotation right now. They're moving out of rotation pretty soon. As they move out of rotation, like, I think there's a lot of sets people are just a little too negative on that, and they're too negative and maybe almost in an irrational way right now. Astro Radiance, Fusion Strike, Lost Origin right now, Silver Tempest, all those sets I think are all due to pop pretty soon. And I just think there's a lot of maybe irrational hatred towards hatred's a poor usage of words. Just an irrational neglect for a lot of these sets. And I think that irrational neglect is just coming from a very old adage at this point on this channel, and maybe just a very old adage in life or an adage in Pokemon, is people do not want to buy stuff when it's cheap, and people only want to buy stuff when it's expensive. And I think some of the things going against like a Lost Origin right now or Silver Tempest is nothing against the set itself. It's just goes to that adage of people just, what does it have going against it? The only thing it has going against it is it's just cheap right now. And because it's cheap, people won't want it. But don't worry. When it goes up and it starts to become valuable, then people will want it. Goes back to a set as recently as Chill and Rain. There was a while I was trying to get out of my position of Chill and Rain. I say pretty actively, like I made more than one phone call at least, like trying to get rid of some cases of Chill and Rain. And one of the things that I was having the most trouble with was the people that I would usually call to pick up my product. They just didn't want the Chill and Rain. But now that Chill and Rain is going up, now people want it again. I was having trouble moving it at $120 a box. Nobody really wanted it. But now that prices for Chill and Rain are creeping up in that $150 plus range, now it's like it's back on people's radar. I just told you I couldn't sell it at $120. But now, if I want, I could sell it at $150. It's just when things are just too cheap, people don't want it. And I don't know if that's something that really ever changes. I wish I could sit here and like be some awesome Pokemon, I don't know, future sightseer and just be like, that will change in the future. But I just don't see it changing. It is what it is. It's just part of the hobby. It's part of in a way, it's part of the game. So Basic Trainer says the one thing he needs to do right now in this hobby to grow is he needs to be opening more MetaZoo. Basic Trainer, I encourage you. What is a basic, or what's a, can you pick up, are we at 50-cent MetaZoo packs yet? I know we're already way below the $1 MetaZoo pack, but have we hit the 50-cent MetaZoo pack? Because I'll tell you right now, Basic, if you still like yourself some MetaZoo and you could pick up some MetaZoo packs for 50 cents, go for it. I'm going to tell you, any TCG, I don't care what it is, if you could pick up packs for 50 cents and you enjoy the opening experience, who am I to tell you to not rip? Go ahead. Rip all you want if you could pick up 50-cent packs, Basic. Zarn Lurkin 92 said, don't worry, PK, there's more pre-release Raichus out there. He's bullish on that, yeah. Jesse Guitar says, my number one fault is watching too much PK content. That can never be a fault. That should be everybody's put on your build list. How to grow in Pokemon. Watch more of my rants. Tyler One says he needs to send more cards to PSA. Yeah. Honestly, I made a video about a week ago at this point saying one of the things I was waiting for is I think February 1st is going to bring something at PSA. And by bring something, I mean I think we're going to get lower prices at PSA. I'm holding off. I'm not sending any cards from now until February 1st. Now, if I'm wrong and PSA doesn't lower their price on February 1st, then whatever. Worst case scenario is I'm going to, at that point, lose about 2 weeks of time that I could have been sending cards. The week that I've already waited to send my cards, and then the week that I'm going to continue to wait. So it makes it 2 weeks total for me. If you guys are still thinking about sending cards to PSA, I'd say just hold off to February 1st. I don't have any insider information. It's just, again, what people hate to hear. It's just, I got a feeling. I got a feeling, ladies and gentlemen. So Pokey Steve says he's got 7K of bulk and ETBs need to be wrapped and sent out. Yeah, he goes, but, yeah. 17,000 cards bulk, that's a lot. What's your plan to do with the bulk? Are you going to go through it and try to pick out, like, you know, your 40-cent, 50-cent dollar cards, or are you just going to try to go the bulk it out at the penny or penny and a half, or if you get super lucky, 2 cents, depending who's buying. So Team Rocket says, I need to sell thousands of bulk I have 4 Altart Dragonite from Evolving Skies that I need to grade and sell. There's a lot I need to do, but nervous about losing money or screwing up. When it comes to grading cards, don't really be worried. You know, just, that's an easy one. That's an easy card. If you told me you got 4 Alt-Art Dragonites from Evolving Skies, send all 4 of the PSA. You don't got to spread them out. Just send them all in one. If you get lucky, you get 4 10s. You get unlucky, you get 2 10s, 2 9s. But as for the bulk, yeah, the bulk route is tough. It's not easy. Pork Shoulder said, I've sold 5 cards in the last 3 years. I feel like you're telling me it's on the agenda to pump up those numbers. Yeah, I would say at least you've sold 5 cards in 3 years. So you're averaging close, not quite, you're not quite there yet, but you're averaging close to 2 cards a year. I would be interesting. What would be if you only sell 5 cards in a 3-year timeline, what are those cards you're selling? Are they just crazy high expensive cards? Were they, PSA 10 PC items you sold and you just watched as the hobby went absolutely parabolic and you're just like, I can't even justify holding on to these cards anymore? I'd be curious, like, if you only sold 5 cards in 3 years, what were they? Unless you're just going to say, oh, I sold 5 bulk, GX cards to, I don't know, my local card shop when I was there opening packs. If it's something like that, then I take that question back. I'm Gridsky says, good point. I have about 2,000 empty tins, also MTBs on the shelf. That is inside. 2,000 empty tins. That's a lot of tins. Tins take up so much space, especially empty tins. Oh, anybody who's ever like broke down product knows what the empty tin, and this is the problem too with empty tins. Sometimes you just got to throw them out. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, and especially because if you look on eBay, you can go type in like, I don't know, 2011 black and white tin or 2007 diamond and pearl tin, right? And you're going to pull up some listing where somebody is just selling an empty tin. And that tin will sell for a premium. So people are just looking at their 2000 modern tins from 2021, 2022, and they're looking at it and saying, listen, I just saw a diamond and pearl tin empty sell for $20. Are these 2000 tins, are they potentially $20 a pop? And if these are, how many thousands of dollars would I potentially be throwing out? I don't know. You got to make that decision for yourself. I don't recommend holding on to tins. I don't really hold on to tins. They take up way too much space. I don't know. It's up to you, man. I don't have a perfect answer for you because everybody wants that. Will there ever come a day when 2020, 2021, 2022, like bulk tins will sell for the same price as some random empty black and white tin or some random diamond and pearl tin? I'm going to lean towards no. Sorry, hot take. I'm going to lean towards no. I think those tins will always just be impossible to sell, impossible to move. Shipping costs would just eat up any profit margins you ever plan to make. Even in person, I don't think anybody's going to want to pick those up in person. It just is what it is. But, no, tins can get tricky. So... yeah, somebody he said my faults are not having enough money to buy Pokemon cards and only being able to collect damaged versions. Damaged versions are fine too. Listen, as long as you're buying your collection, doesn't matter. As long as you enjoy the card, if you're doing it as a pure collector, go for it. Basic says I message #1 mod in the game whenever PK goes live, so Drew hops in there. Yeah, Basic, right. TCV. Collectible said PK just calling me out for my bulk card sitting right next to him. Damn, yeah. Drew, have you dropped a link for your Instagram? You gotta drop it in the live chat so people could go sub. People are saying the One Piece is real. Yes, there are a lot of One Piece lovers out there. They do not want to hear that there is any danger ahead. It's danger. It's rough waters ahead. Put it this way: if you're in a boat right now, maybe you're not in a dinghy right now. You're not in like a little 5 horsepower, 8-foot dinghy, but right now you're in like a 20-foot center console Boston whaler, But there's some 8-footers coming ahead, and you just, you've been chopping through. You've been doing 2-footers all day, and then off your bow in the distance, I see the 8-footers. They're gonna come rolling in, and then after those 8-footers, there's gonna be some 10-footers, and you're just in a little 20-foot center console, man. You were just out for a little day cruise with one piece. That's where you're at right now. 8-footers, they're coming along. So TCV Collectible says for PK, I know that I should either consolidate my collection and cards to sell, or at least organize my cards too, so I know where they are and know what I'm great in selling short term, long term. Yeah, it's always good. Inventory could be tough. I had bulk cards. I don't even know. I think it was during a Rattle happy hour. I just had like piles of bulk, and I just sat there during one of the happy hours, and while my camera was on, I just kept sorting out bulk. Bulk is rough. It's a never ending uphill battle, put it that way. So, Son of a Merc says, One Piece 6 has a pretty popular character it's going to revolve around. Listen, I'm not saying One Piece is going crashing down, but I'm just warning you. Like, you could justify like these 3x, 4x MSRP prices for pre-orders, but they're not sustainable in my opinion. I'm sorry. Let's see. Let's see. Mile High, good to see you, bud. He said, got a lot of love for you, PK. Got a lot of love for you too, man. Mick says, One Piece will at least be chilling until the manga and anime end in like 5 to 6 years. That's a little bullish of a take, okay? I'm just going to warn you right there. Let's see. Oh, I just jumped to the bottom. Do that again. All right. So Wilt Chamberlain said, Sup PK, what are your thoughts on the Pokemon Center exclusive Mimikyu from the Paldean Fates ETPs? I like the art a lot personally, just kind of wary due to previous Pokemon Center promo condition issues. You're speaking to the choir, man. I stopped opening my Pokemon Center ETBs after I got crushed on back-to-back sets. So, Paldea Evolved, love that promo with the Pikachu. I love the Japanese SV001 promo. I love the Chinese SV001 promo. Great promos. So the fact that we finally got it in English, same artwork, just whatever, different numbering, but it's and as Pokemon ETB or as an ETB promo, and then on top of that for the Pokemon Center one having the stamp promo, I was like, yeah, great promo, great artwork. Exclusive stamp. This thing's going to sell for a huge premium if it hits a 10. I couldn't hit any 10s on mine. And then, same thing with that Charmander promo from Obsidian Flames. Again, beautiful artwork. Fan favorite Pokemon. Awesome exclusive stamp again. Let's grade them. No 10s. I hit one of the non-center Pokemon Center stamp promos. I ended up selling through all those, but honestly, after it was all said and done between my grading fees, I lost money on all those promos because I should have just sold them sealed. The sealed for the Pokemon Center exclusive promos held such a stronger premium than my 9 sold for. It's just because I just couldn't grade them in 10s. So, to answer your question, I've had such bad luck right now. I've graded 0 Pokemon Center stamp promos in a 10 of any of these modern ETBs that have come out. So, I feel your pain that you are nervous with this Mimikyu. I think the Mimikyu is an awesome artwork too. Me and Rattle talked about it a little bit in the live. I didn't really realize how weird it is to have that old lady kind of just on the side of the card, and that's a more realistic artwork. It's not really any Pokemon trainer, so it would be a lot better if this Mimikyu promo. I know they've beat it to death with Acerola. Acerola has been on so many different promos with Mimikyu, whether you want to go all the way back to Cosmic Eclipse, and I think, here, I don't have this one, so it goes all the way back to Cosmic Eclipse and that promo. Then there's the Acerola with the Mimikyu watching the TV and Brilliant Stars. There's so many good Acerola Mimikyu artwork, so I get the fact that they maybe didn't want to add Acerola to the ETB promo, and they just want to go with just a more generic, older person. But I love the artwork of the Mimikyu. I just don't love the rest of the card. So, I think where I like Pokemon Center ETBs personally for Paldean Fates is I like them as sealed product plays. And that's going to be super dependent on hoping that these things don't get reprinted to oblivion. Because one thing Pokemon Center has done recently, especially with Pokemon Center ETBs, is we're getting these reprints. And these reprints have been so big that they haven't really been able to eat up any of the supply. Perfect example being Obsidian Flames. Obsidian Flames at release sold out. Right at release, they dropped again, sold out again, until eventually now you could go on PokemonCenter.com right now and go look up Obsidian Flames ETBs. You could pick them up right now. How much of that factor of the price has to do with those promos being graded? How much of that price has to do with how tough those cards are to grade? It's tough to say, but it's not the same anymore with Pokemon Center ETBs. It definitely seems that Pokemon Center is printing a lot more of these. Now you can go back not too far to just Scarlet and Violet base. Like, I think it's which one is the more expensive one? You can let me know which one is the more expensive of the two. But I don't know. We'll see. Listen, where I stand right now is I like the Pokemon Center exclusive ETB. And in fact, I like the artwork so much. I love the purple to it. It pops really well. I love the purple. When you think of like awesome Pokemon ETBs with purple artwork, I really go to like Phantom Forces with the Gengar is an awesome, beautiful ETB. But this Paldean Fates one, even though it's a modern product, I'm going to put it on the shelf back there because I think it's going to display great. I love the color scheme. I love Mimikyu as a Pokemon. I think it's all around solid. Let's see. McNick says Temporal Forces looking fire with the Grotto art rare. I don't think I could picture that one off the top of my head. So Trev says, I opened 3 ETBs of Paldean Fates, pulled 3 ARs, all 3 with Pal and Finn. That's funny. That's because you're a flipper, man. If you're the flipper, you're going to get the flipper Pokemon. And if you are the ultimate flipper, you're going to get the evolved flipper Pokemon. So it is what it is. So Dama said, market's in a great spot right now for buyers if you're doing your due diligence. Yeah. And I made a video saying the same way as we're in the time of building right now, I made a video not too long ago saying we are in the acquisition period. And that whole video, when I talk about acquisition, is you just got to be ready for the good deals. And all that means is you just go on your PWCCs, you go on your Z&G, weekly auctions, and you just wait for the good deals to come up. And I don't know what week to week's going to bring you. And if you don't win everything, like, so be it. Just throw in a price that you feel comfortable at. Like, I feel comfortable if I win this product, and if I don't, it's not the end of the world. You just throw those dollar amounts out there. Like, we are in that timeline right now where it's just buy to buy in a way. Let's see. So what was the rattle quote that I stole? It was, bid on things that you don't care if you lose, if that makes sense. Because if you're bidding on stuff with the intention that you don't care if you lose, you're not going to find yourself overpaying for anything. And if you do that and you do that enough, eventually you will be the person to get lucky. And when people are looking through like the most recent PWCC auction block, or they're looking through the most recent Z&G Emporium auction block, and they're looking through the most recent DC Sports auction block, or they're looking through the most recent Probstein auction block, and they're saying, that card was a good deal. Oh, that person got lucky. That person got lucky. That person got lucky. If you're the person that is getting lucky, you're probably going to end up doing pretty well. And it all boils down to, do you believe in the history, or do you believe in the longevity of Pokemon? Because I think a lot of people, especially, I'm going to be honest with you. At this point, if you're still watching this live at 54 minutes in, and you're one of the 95 people currently tuned in, you're in it. So you will be the one that, if this hobby comes out of this timeline and it comes out stronger, or the hobby continues to grow, you are going to be in a position that you are going to capitalize so strongly on what's to come. And I still do believe in the what's to come. I know that is probably my over bullish take on this hobby, that I still think, like, I don't think all the good times are behind us. To be honest with you, I think the good times are still yet to come. I just don't know exactly how those times will come, how exactly they will look. But we are in such a strong market right now. There are little dips here and there, but overall, make absolutely no mistake about it, this is still one of the absolute strongest Pokemon hobbies we have ever seen. So, and that's why I made videos in the past, and then not too recent past, saying if you can't make money in this hobby right now today, you will never make money in this hobby. Because while things are changing a little bit, and maybe that easy mode that button's being turned off a little bit, it's still not on hard mode yet. So if you're not being successful in this hobby right now, you're probably making a mistake. And back to this title of this video is Build Now or Be Left Behind. I think if you're not making money or you're not growing in this hobby right now, I'm being honest with you, I think you know why. And I don't know what that why is for each person out there, but anybody watching this, they know what that why is. And I'm confident in that. And you just have to change that. So, Nick says, as I walk through the valley of the $79.95 booster boxes, I fear no evil. Amen, brother. So, B. Throg says, from what I recall, Chillin' Rain was crapped on from jump and super cheap. No, man. So, Chillin' Rain at release sold out completely on PokemonCenter.com at $143.99. So completely sold out on PokemonCenter.com. So that just shows you how strong the market was, that it was able to buy out PokemonCenter.com at MSRP. And Chillin' Rain booster boxes were selling at a high of like 160, 170 at release. So no, Chillin' Rain was never shit on, like right out the go. And in fact, it took 3 reprints of Chillin' Rain for it to finally get to that $79.95. Like, even after the reprint, it was still, like, started to trend back up to the $140 price range. It took to that 3rd reprint to come to finally crush the price of Chillin' Rain. It was holding strong for a really long time. And one of the reasons I talk about Chillin' Rain is because I did not buy any Chilling Rain booster boxes until that 3rd wave. So, no, it wasn't a shit on set right at release. There was a lot of demand. And I'm sure, I doubt Dan Ketchmall Collectibles is in the chat right now, but I'm sure if he's in there, or Josh, the old card shop, could probably let you know, like, what they were selling their booster boxes at right at release for Chillin' Rain. And that right at release, they were selling for huge dollar amounts. I mean, the market was so strong right then. Think about when Chillin' Rain came out. You had Battle Styles, then Shining Fates. Both those sets, even at release, sold for crazy. Battle Styles at release was wild. 150, 160 a booster box those were selling at. Shining Fates, ETBs 120, 130. And then right off the tails of all that crazy hype was Chillin' Rain. Chillin' Rain got eaten up by people. People were just all in on Chillin' Rain right at the beginning. So yeah, it was not crapped on from the jump and super cheap. So no, that was not true at all. Old Card Shop said, late to the party and I walked into Chillin' Rain talk. You can never have enough Chillin' Rain talk. Is it 2021? No. For Josh, Old Card Shop, he said 50 cent packs is still too cheap. Let me know down in the chat. Me and old Josh, Old Card Shop, were chatting. We want to do just a eBay recap where we would go on. Me and him, we do a live and do just what I talked about earlier, where we're gonna look at, hey, this person got a good deal. Hey, this person overpaid, and just kind of talk about like the current market. And I feel there's no better way, in my opinion, to talk about the current market than just go on eBay and look at the sold listings, because at that point, it is the definition of the current market. You are living in the today, the right now. Like, whatever people are buying, That is the market. The prices that were paid that day, there's nothing truer, nothing fresher of price points than literally eBay sold listings. So if you guys would like to see that live, let me know, whether it would be on this channel or Josh's channel. We just go in and just have like a little market discussion and say like, what are people buying? So let me know if you guys would like that. But yeah, me and Josh talked about that pretty recently over text. I want to say yesterday, maybe. That's something I'm looking forward to. So Old Card Shop said, PK, you want to... Oh, wait. Oh, I dropped to the bottom. He goes, PK, you want to buy my 1,000 Professor Juniper collection deck boxes, sleeves, dice? I'll cut you a deal. Pass. But you should be selling those. Back to the title of this video, Josh. Build now or not be left behind. You don't want to sell those deck sleeves and dices, but do it. Because there's money to be made there. Probably not a lot of money to be made there, but there's money to be made there. So do it. Do it on your own. Let's see. Old Card Shop said, speak for yourself, PK. My storage unit fees will eventually be outpaced by the fat games on his empty reprint EV tins. Yeah. Oh, I hope you're not keeping your EV tins. Man. So I think when you talk about the EV tins, maybe you're talking about like the Jolteon Flareon Vaporeon tins. Yeah, those tins were fun. Or you're talking about like the EV tins when they had the Target Black Friday special in 2021 or 2022 where you could get the tins for like, was it 2 for 10 or 1 for 10? Yeah, I think it was. They were just $10. But they came with some decent packs in it. Oh my god. Dude, there's so much shit has happened in this hobby in the last couple of years, Josh. I can't even remember like which packs are in which tins. Son of a Merc says, PK, what is the meaning of life? I think the meaning of life is pretty simple. It's just have a family. Once you have a family, you understand that your life is insignificant and your kids' life are the only things that matter. And even when they, do this, they scratch up your face, you still love them. But I think that's the meaning to life, is just understanding that there are things that are more important than you out there. And when you figure out what that is, and for me, it's my kids. Like, my kids are the most important thing in the world. So I think that's the meaning of life right there. And it's just that, in a way, I guess it's like, just procreating in general is just keeping your legacy going, in a way. And I think you can get to like the dark thought of it is like, what is legacy when you think back 3 generations? Like, do you know who your grandfather's grandfather was? So your great-great-grandfather. Do you know who that was? And a lot of people's answer to that question is probably no. A lot of people, to be honest with you, don't even know who their grandfather's father was, which is just as simple as your great-grandfather. They might not even know that person's name. So when you get into like the darker thought of legacy, but it doesn't matter. And the reason why I say it doesn't matter is because even though you might not know that person's name, in some way that person had a direct impact on you today, because your grandfather's grandfather, instilled knowledge and instilled skills and instilled like the person that your grandfather's father ended up being, and then he passed on those traits to your grandfather. Your grandfather passed those traits on to your father. Your father imprinted a lot of those traits onto you, and then you're probably, whether you consciously or subconsciously know that, are imprinting those same exact traits onto your children now. So even though you might not know that person's name, they're still a part of you, and their legacy is in a way still part of you. So I think in that way, legacies never really die. It's interesting. So to answer your question, son of a Merc, that's what I think the meaning of life is. Nailed it. Crazy. Not a lot of people tuned. I looked over at the current concurrent view counter. I want to see if like the views started to drop a lot, but no, they actually started to tip up. So who knows what we're going to be talking about on there. That's what the name of the chat is. PK Pokemon Weekly Chat. Not going to talk about Pokemon. I'm going to talk about the meaning of life. All right. Let's see. Old card. So Chris Texas says, "Why don't you love the old lady PK on the new Mimikyu promo?" I don't know. Rattle got it in my head. It looks weird. Johnny Bongo says, "Selling those Van Gogh Pikachus were easy." Yes, they were. Fresh Tot says, "PK 23-4." Nah. So you got John 316. How about PK 6969? I think that would be a good one. So yeah. Fresh Tot said, "Josh and PK, that is content." Yes, it is. And guess what I did, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages? I made it to the bottom of chat. It only took me 15 minutes to do my normal PK rant, and only took me 50 minutes to make it to the bottom of chat. Not too shabby. Put it in the history books. Mark it down. Appreciate every single one of you. Drew, why didn't you post your Instagram account to the chat? Do it right now. Guys, as soon as the video is over, look at the comment section of this video. There will be a pinned comment. It will be a link to #1 mod in the game's Instagram. Do me a favor. Go, click on it, give him a subscribe, let him know you appreciate him, let him know you appreciate everything he does for the channel, everything he does for the Pokemon hobby as a whole. But guys, as always, appreciate every single one of you, and as always, I'll catch you on the next video.